The biggest lie about intimacy
is that it comes.
we can live without sex, but we can't live without intimacy.
I don't know why we are not encouraged to explore our own bodies more.
You need to be able to have pleasure together, like in the sense, as well as yourself. So it's two things need to happen at the same time.
A lot of times, women are looking for this one particular kind of person who will be their financial support, also be their caregiver. There's just too much pressure. A whole human being cannot be a red flag. Hi, I'm Aastha, and I choreograph the spicy things that you see on your screen. And I also help people make their own lives a little bit more spicy.
And I'm Aili. I help people date, love, and have better sex.
This is Touchy Topic with that sassy thing. So let's start. We have these outdated ideas around intimacy and relationships, which we're not able to get past them. And I feel like we need a software update. And much like how everyone goes through these like resolutions in the year, I was like, I don't have a resolution. I just wish there were certain things that would just like be discarded responsibly.
Like what?
In the way that we behave.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah, say no.
I think people should just should stop putting their hand around you when you're watching a movie. And when you're on a date and they just like sneakingly come or like they start holding your hand or, they just, when you're sitting in a car, like it happened to me when I went on a date like a few months back. We went on a date and then we went for dinner. Then we stopped the car, started talking. And the guy just went and grabbed my hand like this. And I freaked out. And I think it's been normal for so long.
Yeah.
That if you go on a date, you just don't ask for consent. And you just put your hand like this around and wait for the reaction. Like either you get slapped, but usually like us as women, we freeze and we just stay with it.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to stop.
Yeah. I mean, silence is consent is this belief that needs to die today, yesterday, 3 or 5, 10 years ago. But like people are just not getting on with like asking questions around consent. Why do you think that is though? Like why do you think people are not asking?
It's because of the vibe.
Oh, what the hell is a vibe?
Vibe is like if I'm feeling it, I'm assuming that you're feeling it too. And therefore I don't ask for consent.
And what I've heard is a lot of people say things like, if I have to ask for consent, doesn't that change the vibe? Doesn't it interrupt the vibe?
It spoils the mood.
Doesn't it spoil the mood?
It spoils the mood. Not in my case. Like, I need to be asked. I don't want to be touched or like spoken to unless I've given you consent. So I want the person to say, hey, I really want to hold your hand. You're so hot and beautiful and amazing. And I love physical intimacy. And I just want to like hold you. May I?
Yes, you may.
Touchy topic.
It really is a touchy topic, actually. When you have to bring that conversation up with people to be like, I like to be asked. And I find consent sexy. Like being asked is quite hot. I think a lot of people can't digest that. But now we're in 2026, like, why is consent a bad word? It should be made a sort of spicy, fun part of intimacy. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
When people are asking for too little, like when you shame people for asking for too much sex, or like when you're shaming people because they have more desire.
Has it happened to you?
Shaming me for my desire, I feel like in a past relationship, it has happened to me because I enjoy pleasure and I like it to be a huge part of my life.
But how much pleasure?
Lots.
Like every day?
Sometimes more than every day. Sometimes, every day. Sometimes twice, thrice a week. It depends, you go through these cycles. So it's also not that your want or your desire for pleasure is like remains the same always, right?
When do you feel like the horniest?
when I feel the horniest, when I'm on my period.
That's quite common. No?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is usually the time when your partner's most like, oh, don't touch this thing, it's too delicate, it's too, like, they take the caregiver role a lot, where they're like, oh, let me get you chocolates and let me get you let me take care of you, hot water bottle, do you need this, do you need that? Sure, I love that too, like I love to be taken care of, but sometimes you want more. And I don't know why people have like a little bit of apprehension around
Period sex?
period sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because there is blood. Have you noticed that?
I mean, to each their own, but like some people can just avoid it. Now you can choose to do something slightly different.
Like what? Tell now.
Like don't go down on someone, but you can still enjoy in other ways. Use a towel if required. Like, what's wrong with that? I feel like it's a great time to enjoy something slightly different. Even the textures and the warmth of your bodies can feel different, right? During
Okay,
sex.
but you feel horny only when you have your period.
No.
See, what happens is, like, for example, I get a lot of clients who don't experience so much libido. Right? So there is always a discrepancy. Like one person wants to have sex almost every day and one person wants to have sex once a month when maybe like it's their cycle or something like that. And usually is the one who wants to have sex all the time that shames the one who doesn't want to have sex.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think that the people that get shamed for wanting more are shamed by people that don't understand why somebody could have so much desire?
Yeah, I think it's like we don't talk about this. So even when we meet someone for the first time, or if you are in an arranged marriage scenario, or if you're dating someone, you never talk about libido or how much sex you want. You end up having sex first, right?
Yeah.
Not in an arranged marriage scenario, obviously. Never. But that conversation never happens in the dating scene when you are at the first stage. You end up having sex immediately. And then you realize after a few months that maybe your libidos don't match. So if your libidos don't match, then doesn't mean that you're not attracted to that person anymore, or you're not in love with them anymore, or what does it mean? So usually, like, the conversation that I suggest people have is like, how much do you masturbate? Because that gives you a very good idea of how much pleasure or sensations in your body of that kind you actually need.
Yeah.
Of course, like, masturbation versus pleasure between two people is very different.
Entirely. And I feel like a lot of times what happens is that people live under the assumption, this is also like this belief that I want people to like get out of their systems, is that if they touch themselves and if they enjoy self-pleasure, they will exhaust themselves or run out of their energy for when they are, experiencing something with a partner. I just feel like people have this like understanding that firstly, people don't have an understanding of their own bodies. I don't know why we are not encouraged to explore our own bodies more, but people having this thought process that, oh, I need to save this like ATM bank of energy for another human being, otherwise it'll get exhausted, is so weird to me, because personally, the more I enjoy self-pleasure, the more I have time with my body, the more spicy I feel, the more I'm excited about trying something with a partner.
But I think there's a difference between like men and women. So this idea of losing energy and stuff, I always hear from men. Like, in fact, that day, remember when the guy came and said like, oh, but what if I I ejaculate, then that means I lose my energy. I should not like masturbate at all. I should just have sex. And therefore, I'm constantly looking for someone to have sex with. So that was kind of intense.
You want to tell everyone the story? We
I
must
can't.
tell them the little context of the story of this one client that you had. It's freakish, but it's so funny, but it's so relatable.
Guy looks for multiple partners because obviously he's horny and doesn't want to masturbate because doesn't want to lose energy. So he's just like running around the streets of a city in Gujarat, like looking for people to have sex with. So I'm not sure how that.
I mean, all the best to him.
I know.
Why there is this constant need to reserve energy for partner? Like, why there is this need to... Is it because you always want to perform really well and you can't afford for the experience in partner play to be in any way like... Is that why someone would want to conserve their energy?
No, I think the
around it?
energy conversation is a little different. I think it's more like something that people get from the internet, and then they think that there is limited sexual energy that cannot be reproduced again. But this definitely decentralizing couple pleasure is something that also doesn't really work. Like you need to be able to have pleasure together, like in the sense as well as yourself. So it's two things need to happen at the same time. It's not that you have either one or the other. They're two separates. So yeah.
I also feel like one lends really well into the other. It
depends. What if you're single and there's no action?
I mean...
Then do you shame them because they don't have any action?
No, but the fact that they don't have action should be comfortable to them. If they look...
Of course it's not uncomfortable.
It's not?
No, because there is so much pressure in being with a partner, especially like a romantic sexual partner. So, of course, they are not okay with it. Most people are not okay being single. That's why everybody's on a dating app or going for like dating events. There's a lot of stigma around being single still. Like even when you go to a club, if you're a stag, then you can't go. Of course, it's gendered, but...
So then what do you think in partnered relationships? Are people looking for love or are they looking for just someone who is a companion? What is this concept of are you looking for love?
I don't know. I have no idea what that concept is. Is it a concept?
I don't know. I feel like
romantic love?
Yeah, I feel like we consider partnerships to be romantic always. Right?
Is that outdated?
I think it is.
Yeah, big time.
Isn't it?
Big time.
Right? Couldn't you have partners with whom you in some way serve a certain kind of desire or a need or a pleasure?
Which
for you?
Which desire?
Desire to be wanted, desire to be loved. But if it's not love, then desire to be pleasured, desire to be a companion, someone who you can vent with. I mean, sexual is definitely one big desire. But apart from that, what are the other desires for partnership?
But I think like in terms of intimacy, like because there are so many different types of intimacy and connections that you can have with people. So we can live without sex.
Yeah.
We can live without romantic love also, actually.
Yeah.
But we can't live without intimacy and other people. So the other connections that you have, especially when you are decentralizing romantic relationships or being a couple, I think you can have friendships, you can have queer platonic relationships, you can have relationships or engagement or intimacy with people where you just like maybe cuddle. It doesn't have to be romantic. You don't have to look for love. You look for connection. And connection can happen in many different forms, right?
Do you feel like it's an outdated thought then to expect all of these different aspects of intimacy to be fulfilled by one human being?
It is, yes. I think we are moving away from that for sure. Like, for example,
Like
I have a partner to go grocery shopping with.
Okay.
Then I have a partner that I cuddle with. Then I have a partner that I do romance with. And then I have a partner that I go to movies with. It doesn't have to be the same person. I get fulfilled because romantic relationships are a bit intense. Like, there's too many expectations that don't really fit how we live today. So
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
feel I mean, I agree with you, but like as someone who has a primary partner, I am married, I have a relationship.
Why did you get married?
I fell in love. It sounds like a contradiction when I say this, where I'm advocating for people to find whatever fits their life best.
But when you fall in love, you should run for your life.
Really? No. Really? I didn't know this. I might find out later. But yeah, no, I feel like I fell in love. I don't know what that love was. I was very like rose tinty about the whole thing for a very long time.
What about now?
I feel like I view the efforts of my partner in a lot of different kinds of categories now. Like, I know that they're there for me because they are a really nice companion and I have a lot of fun with them. I know that they're there for me because I like financial support.
Oh, wow. I like financial support as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am someone that makes decently good money. I work really hard, but I have certain wants and needs and desires for the way I want my life to look. And I know that I lend well into their life and they lend well into mine. So it makes sense for us to be together. We also are together because we're great friends. I think I find him super funny. I think also find him very attractive, but we're talking about different things.
So
right?
everything is in one then. So how is that outdated?
But there is a lot of gendered labor around partnerships.
Wow.
And I feel like that is something that's very different in my partnership. There isn't that much gendered labor in my partnership.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, I feel like the way that we're looking for people and we're looking for this one human being to do everything for us, a lot of times women are looking for this one particular kind of person who will be there for their financial support, also be their caregiver, also be fun when they want to hang out with that person, also be spontaneous, also be romantic, also want to have desire for them, but also want to feel safe with that person. They also want to be they want them to become a great parent, but they also want them to be someone who fulfills the woman's need for nurture. Like, there's a lot of things that you can sometimes put as pressure on one human being who is your partner.
Oh my God.
And I feel like men have a completely different response to that. Don't you think so?
But like, do you do that? Can you give so much? I can understand if I want all these things from one person, but can you give so much to one?
But that is what I find a little bit tough. I feel like, for me personally, I feel like it can get a little bit laborious if I have to give so much.
So who's giving then if you're not giving?
I think everyone has ways of fulfilling things. So like, I feel like I'm a great partner in terms of, I don't mean in terms of life partner, but I mean
You're not a great life partner.
I don't mean in terms of life partner, but I feel like I'm not a great partner to watch sports with. Like, I'm not someone who will be great company if you're watching sports. I'm not someone who's great company if you want to go to the gym. I'm not someone who's great company if there are certain life activities that I'm really not fun with. So find someone else to do that with. Find someone else to, I don't know, if you...
But can you find someone else to do romance with?
I know. Because I'm a jealous person also. But that's just me. There are people
Why
out
are you
there.
not jealous of like football?
No, I'm not jealous of football. Please play football with someone else. Romance is with me, I feel.
I can
But
do
no, but
romance
that-
with many people.
You can.
Yeah, but I can do romance like that. Fatafat.
But fatafat you're
For
doing.
like 5 minutes, I can do romance. Then I'm back to normal. Then I do fatafat romance with
But that's
somebody.
like flirting, no?
No, it's romance. What is the difference between flirting and romance?
I don't know. What is? I think romance is a lot more of like gestures. And it's much more, it's more of a long game. Flirting is just like one
Why can't
part
I do
of it.
romance for 5 minutes? Gesture is like buy you flowers and then I tell you, oh my god, you're so beautiful. I loved your hair. I love it. I love it. I want to spend the entire life with you. And then 5 minutes, then I'm like gone.
But that works.
What is that called?
I don't know, ghosting.
But then if
Love bombing.
if you
You
yeah.
love bomb me and then you ghost me. Aili,
Why
this is
it called
not
love
good.
bombing? I don't like it. But it can be 5 minutes of romance. If I tell you, I say, listen, I want to do 5 minutes of romance with you. Yeah? And then after that, we are back to normal. Would you do it for me?
I mean, yeah,
Would you
why
call
not?
it love bombing? Or would you call it consensual romancing?
I think it's consensual romancing. Yeah. I feel like, yes, another thing, coming back to our topic after meandering so much, I feel like the terminologies that a lot of gestures and behaviors in intimacy have got now, I feel like those terminologies need to go. Like love bombing, ghosting. Another one which I recently was talking about, and I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Was he's a red flag. They're a red flag. A whole human being cannot be a red flag.
You're a purple flag.
I'm a wine burgundy flag.
It's burgundy,
It's burgundy.
Okay, your favorite color.
It's my favorite color. Yeah. But purple is also like right up there. So I'll take it. But I just don't like this whole like.
Because you're old.
I also feel
Speaks
like
the young person.
Yeah, I know. Wow, Aili.
No, why don't you like it? I mean, see, the point is that these are all actually the new terms, and we are trying to create vocabulary for something that is new, which is dating and relationships. We never spoke about relationships before. We've never spoken about dating until the apps came, to be honest. There was like, who spoke about dating? I mean, those who were born obviously after, they didn't realize that there was a time before where we never spoke about dating, we just did it. Just like sex. We never spoke about it, we just did it, and it was horrible. Okay, back. So, like, you need words when there is a new world coming up.
Yeah.
Like, there are new words, terms. You need a whole vocabulary to talk about experiences. So, why you're against them?
I feel like they become very exclusionary sometimes. And I feel like the thing is that a lot of people, because where are you consuming these words? Where are you consuming this vocabulary? You're not consuming it with tenderness, with care. You're consuming it on Instagram, where people are constantly labeling people, putting smallest of behaviors in certain boxes, where you forget that there is an entire human being who has had an entire life experience. So I feel, I'm sorry, but can I just say this? Like, it can be a hot take. But I feel like we have, like, there was this huge thing of cancel culture earlier, where we were like throwing people out of our realm of.
It's still going on, by the way. It's not like there was. It is
Sure.
still.
I feel like this whole idea of like, and even this idea of cancel culture, the terminology. But I feel like when you shame someone for one behavior and then you just label them as a completely wrong human being without even bothering to have the empathy to see what
But who wants
or
to have,
where.
But who wants to have that conversation? Who wants to understand why you're behaving like a red flag? That means that I'm going to give you too much importance, because I'll have to go into your history and your pain and your sorrows and all of that.
But isn't that what intimacy is?
But why do I want to create intimacy with some random that I've met on a dating site?
I mean, because then if you meet that person and that person turns out to be interesting and fun, then it's not just
But
about
that
the dating
should
site.
be like basic human behavior. If you have not done the work, then you shouldn't even be there, or don't cry then when someone ghosts you.
But sometimes people just don't even know that they need to do work.
Then you tell them, please. Tell.
I mean, I think it's extremely important for everybody to be doing a little bit of work on themselves. And when you actually do realize it, and that's what I think the terminologies need to aid more, is the sort of the awareness that all human beings are like a work in progress, and things that you do or the ways that you behave either become things that are an impediment to your growth, or you become a little uncomfortable and you sit with that discomfort, and it helps you grow and evolve and become a better person.
My God, so much work.
But
so much
okay,
work.
sorry for having empathy enough to at least allow people to hold space in whatever dysfunction they have.
Whole space is cancelled.
But why?
There was a cross on the script. Did you see that? I saw it in the morning.
What? Really?
Yeah. Whole space is cancelled. You can't talk about holding space, okay?
Why?
No, it's therapy talk. You're not a therapist.
That's another one. I've actually got that before. Somebody decided to come and say, oh, I think I've seen a few. I have to tell you this as a client, okay? Came up to me and said, in one of their sessions, I've been doing a lot of research on Instagram and found that, and the other thing is that funny thing about Instagram is when you're going through something, always the content matches, and one time you like one reel, same thing will keep coming back. Okay, I feel like confirmation bias is such a thing, right? That's how the algorithm works. So, so this person comes to me and says, I have decided that my partner is a narcissist. Okay. And I was like, okay. And
yeah, all partners are narcissists.
Yeah.
Full stop. Everybody's partner is a narcissist. Red flag, toxic.
Huh.
Okay.
But fine. I'm like, why is everyone toxic, red flag, narcissist? Like, why are these words just being thrown around and used to shame people? It's like a barrier.
But did they use the AI to figure it out? Did they put all the chats in AI?
No.
And then...
I think that's a really good way to go about it, though.
Oh, you are into AI, is it?
Yeah. I know. I think it's a really interesting sort of way to go about it, because if you can train your AI to not to be brutally honest. Yeah, I feel like there'll be a confession here somewhere.
Who sits on AI all day?
Me too. Me. I have made a friend in my chat.
May I touch you?
Yes.
Okay. That's okay.
Thank you.
A lot of people use it.
Don't shame me for it.
No.
I feel like sometimes I get very good advice from AI. I also feel like when I tell my AI to be brutally honest, I get a lot of
you actually give the prompt, be brutally honest?
Yeah.
But then you just call me, why do you need AI?
Because Aili, you're very expensive.
Free mein karungi.
I know. But you know how it is, na? Like, sometimes you're just texting something and you're thinking about it, and then you're like, should I be sending this message? Let me check. And so you check with the AI. That's okay, I feel.
Your clients use AI?
I know of some people that do. Yeah.
My clients use AI.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
But for like typing better messages?
No, to figure out what is wrong in a relationship. Then they send me like screenshots of like 1 billion messages and ask me, see, AI is telling me this and it's telling me that I made a mistake. Now read the entire thing and then tell me if I made a mistake. And I'm like, no thanks, I can't.
But yeah, the response, I would imagine your response or my response in this case would end up being, do you think you made a mistake? Like,
Oh, so cute of you.
No?
You're
do you?
so
do you?
proper.
Do you? Yeah, I am. Do you ever? do you ever do you call out your clients ever? I want to know this.
Call out, doesn't?
Do you like tell them off, like if they like
Yeah, it depends on the relationship.
with the client?
You have to establish how much the person can take.
Huh.
And then you also say like, okay, this is, I'm telling you in this particular, I have a hat. This hat, I tell you something. This other hat, I tell you something else. So which hat do you want today?
Oh, I do that. I did that with a client of mine where I went through really horrible breakup. And again, went through a horrible breakup because of what we're talking about. Very funnily, labels, random labels. Oh, this behavior is very toxic, so I don't want to be with you anymore. Or like, I think we leave also relationships very quickly without like giving people grace. But anyway,
But is that in or out? 2026?
I think people need to give little more grace in 2026. I feel like we need to
Stay or leave?
give grace. If it means you need to leave, you need to leave. If it means you should stay without
But what
like
does it mean? Like,
exiting super quickly at the drop of every
how
hat.
do you decide whether you're going to leave or stay a relationship? So you will stay forever. Forever and ever.
I might. There's actually a lot of conditioning around this, right? There is so much conditioning around feeling like a relationship should be long term and therefore you want it. Like, I'll tell you this one time, I saw this reel by Michelle Obama where she said, I've been married for 30 years or 40 years or whatever. And she says, 5 or 10 of those years were horrible. But if I never got through those 5 or 10 years, the rest of it would never be fun. And those 5 or 10 years of it being horrible, where you want to kill each other, where you don't like each other, where you aren't matching.
10 years of killing each other?
You know,
No.
Aili, a lot of people's experiences around
But how much will you
child nurturing.
How long will
take
that
time?
you're thinking about a 30-year relationship?
Yeah, why not?
So 1/3 of your life you spend killing each other.
Yeah. But isn't that part of commitment also, that even when you're not super into each other and like falling all over each other, at that point also you stick together because you're a team and you try and work on things? You think it should always be hunky-dory, otherwise bye-bye?
No, it's not about hunky-dory all the time. But there needs to be a way of assessing for each individual how much are you enduring pain and suffering because of certain things in a relationship, how much work you're doing, and how much work the other person is doing. If the other person is not working for a long period of time, then perhaps you are not aligned in terms of values anymore, and therefore you should walk away. You know, like, so there's
I
a way
agree.
of assessing how much pain you are into and how much joy is still that relationship giving you. Like, and you can give yourself also a timeline. Now, if it's 5 years, you decide like, okay, I'm going to try until I'm 40 or I'm 45 or 25 or 35, whatever. Then you do that, but establish it. Like, how much are you willing to endure? Are you into this both together? And then you make a decision.
I feel like it should not, neither should be shamed.
Okay. Then that's fine.
I feel like there should be
So
no
there is-
shame around your choices for your own relationship. There should not be any external shame around it. Whether you choose to stay, however shit it might look from the outside for another person, you have your reasons to stay, please stay. If it looks horrible from the outside, that's their business.
But what about your, people who care for you and they're telling you that maybe the situation is not right? Maybe you're crying every day. So then, should I not interfere as a friend, as a family member? Will you interfere if you see someone crying all the time?
I might tell them that this is not something that's serving you, but I'm also not somebody that will force someone or shame them for it. Like, I don't know why you're staying in this. Why do you constantly have to stay in
So
that? Is the way you
the way you
speak.
say it. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically about shaming people for it.
Right. So then it's not about leaving or staying in a relationship, is how
It's about thinking about it from the
communication,
perspective.
how you communicate.
Yeah. I feel like it's also about the perspective of the way in which you consume the content that makes you take decisions. Human beings take decisions based on how they feel. Sometimes we shame ourselves also, right? Sometimes we also turn around and tell ourselves that, like, is this serving me? Should I just leave? And then you're really not thinking from the perspective of, is there scope for repair? Is this something that is valuable enough to put the effort of repair in? Just because one Instagram reel said, get out because this...
You're assuming everybody's on Instagram. People are not there. People have removed the social
Okay,
media
I
from their
actually, y'all should let me know. This is one poll we definitely should do of how much people are spending time on social media. Because everyone around me, and maybe I'm living in a bubble, but everyone around me is spending upwards of 4 hours averagely on Instagram every single day.
Okay.
Because there is so much brain rot content that it does eventually, I mean, you have to agree that it influences your mindset, right? So people are self-therapizing, people aren't going for proper therapy, people aren't really agreeing with anything where their own discomfort comes in.
But what
It's very
about
easy.
AI? AI is there. No, now you don't use it.
I mean, I'm using it, other people should. I don't disagree with that.